G'day viewers. Thought we'd do a little bit on trigonometry today. We won't go into it much, I've only got a couple of minutes. But if you're an electrician or an electrical apprentice, you will know what this means and you'll know how to use it. If you know how to use that, and if you can remember that formula, you can do trigonometry. Okay, how? Well, the same thing. So you've got formulas for trigonometry. So you know your sine, cos, tan. Well, you just have three formulas done exactly the same way. Now, sine, cos, tan, you've probably been told SOHCAHTOA. So you write SOHCAHTOA. Now, the issue that I've had with SOHCAHTOA, I don't know how to spell it. So I struggle with trying to figure out what it is. Plus also, when you just write SOHCAHTOA, it's not in any formula. It's like, what does it mean? So here's a way to write it. Now, because I don't know how to spell SOHCAHTOA, there's one teacher that was able to get me to remember something on trigonometry. I had massive problems with trigonometry. I really couldn't understand it. It was when I opened up my own training school, I had to figure out how to understand trigonometry and how to teach it. But anyway, he had a little saying, and it might be very, very old-fashioned for you guys. You can come up with your own little rhyme. But Peter Stanton Cook was able to implant one thing into me about trigonometry. And that was the saying that some old hulks carry a huge tub of ale. And a hulk is a ship, and of course ale is beer. So that stuck with me. I didn't really know what it meant, I didn't know how to use it, but at least that little saying stayed with me. So, at least also too, I didn't have to remember how to spell SOHCAHTOA. Okay, now how to write SOHCAHTOA so it puts it into formulas immediately. And what I have is I get my students, whenever they're doing an assessment, whenever they're thinking about trigonometry, I get them to write these three formulas down on the page they're working on. So every page they're working on, if there's trigonometry in it, just write down the three formulas. This is how you do it. So you will, obviously, some old hulks carry a huge tub of ale is going to start with S. So we put the S there, like so. Now, remembering how to do our Ohm's law formula, we've got 2 units on the bottom, 1 on top. So we'll start with S, and when we start a formula, we'll start it from the bottom. So we've got S, we put O up here, so some old hulks. There's one formula. Next formula, start at the bottom again. Carry a huge, start at the formula at the bottom again, tub of ale. There are your formulas. And if you like them in triangles, you can put them in a triangle. Okay, so that's 3 formulas exactly set out like Ohm's law. And what this is saying is that if you've got opposite equals the sine multiplied by the hypotenuse. Or, if you're looking for sine, it's the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. If you're looking for hypotenuse, it's opposite divided by sine, and so forth. And of course, the most common formula that we as electricians use, here we've got cos. So the cosine equals the adjacent over hypotenuse. If you want the hypotenuse, then it's the adjacent over cosine. And if you're looking for the adjacent, well then it's cosine by hypotenuse. And that's it. You put the three formulas like that on every page you're working on. You don't have to remember how to spell SOHCAHTOA. You could use another rhyme. You might say, some old Harleys can't always hide their old age. Whatever you like, whatever it fits. But start your formula at the bottom, up the top, and then back down. So as to create the triangle for you, like with Ohm's law. Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes. That's the start of it. And I'll do another video to show just how easy it is to understand the triangle in trigonometry and the angles and the names of the triangle and such like that. It is really very easy. I haven't come across anyone in the last, I suppose, nearly 10 years. I haven't come across anyone that could not easily understand trigonometry in about 20 minutes in the way that I do it. I can certainly understand if you're skeptical. I couldn't do trigonometry until I was nearly 50 years old. I just could not understand it. It just didn't make any sense. I find that a lot of people who teach mathematics have understood mathematics since they were young in school. And so they have major issues in trying to figure out why people like myself just cannot figure out maths. I went to about 12, 13 different primary schools when I was a young fella, obviously, and I didn't get the basics. You must have basics. That's why I push basics on electrical so hard. You must have the basics to be able to understand things. But anyway, I couldn't do maths, couldn't do trigonometry, anything like that, algebra. And so I find that a lot of people who do understand it and have always understood it, brilliant when it comes to maths, cannot understand why we have so much trouble with it. But anyway, that's at least the formulas, and then I'll do another video to explain more about trigonometry. Hope it helps, guys. See you tomorrow.